Hi everyone, we are this year in Cannes Film Festival to talk about Annette, which is a movie from Leos Carax in the official competition and was also honored to be at the opening ceremony of the film festival. I'm Fabien Pisano, I'm heading the activities of Sony Professional in the south of Europe, and I'm very pleased to welcome today Caroline Champetier, who is cinematographer on this movie, Annette, and Ines Tabarin, who was assisting Caroline. First of all, to start, Caroline, can you tell us a bit about this movie, about the story, about what it tells?
It can be a love story between a stand-up and an opera singer. They fell in love, they have a baby. It's going down for him, not for her. But something is broken in the couple. And there will be, we can say, a disaster, a tragedy. And then it's the second part of the movie with the father of the kid who trained her to be a star.
So I've been watching the movie, and it's really moving a lot of emotions. Okay, my advice to everyone that is maybe listening to our talk is, if you have opportunity to watch the movie first and really experience the emotion and the story and be moved by the cinematography of Caroline here, I advise you do that, and maybe later on you catch up and you enjoy and you understand maybe a bit better when we're going to go in depth around the work on your cinematography. It's a musical movie. Did you apprehend a musical movie differently? That a movie where the music is not so present?
Of course, but it's not the question of the music, it's the question of you have to follow the music. So the idea of Leos was don't cutting the songs, and so to have sequence and to have shots all long as they can. This was the difficulty with the music. But apart from that, for me, I was like in a silent movie. The sound was with my friend Erwan Annette, and so I can focus absolutely on the cinematography. And I think it was the way I give something a bit expressionist to the cinematography. Not to be with the music, but to be alone and then to meet the music.
So the picture is really strong, is really present. For me, it's really a very beautiful cinematography. How did you prepare for that with the director? What was the main and important axis and thoughts you put before in the preparation of the film?
After reading the script, the more important thing for me was, oh la la, there will be a movie in 5 theaters, always by night, so a lot of black. This was a challenge. To follow a story in this obscurity, but not to be sad, not to be deep, and to fight with the blacks, and to give them texture. So that was the base of the cinematography, of the texture, I can say. And then it was to follow the music, to have long shots. It was my work to give to Leos the opportunity to stay with the shot aussi longtemps que possible, as long as possible. But after he decide sometimes to make it differently.
Okay.
So it was to give him all the opportunity to make the shots he wants to do. And of course, we spoke about this before.
I would say that, so you mentioned the black, I'm sure we're going to come back to this very important signature of the movie, the importance of that. I was also struck by the color itself, okay? The color is really following the characters, the story, the places, and it's not just a specific color for a specific theme. There is a lot of nuances, a lot of degree of the same and different colors, so I imagine that there is a lot of precision, a lot of preparation in order to achieve such a result.
It was also the reason for what I took Sony VENICE. But the color was the answer to the blacks. to go with the blacks for a movie for 2 hours and more, you have to fight with that. And how to fight? It was the color. The answer was the color. There was a color by character, green for Henri, yellow for her, and then in each set I thought, how can I work with the color? So you see in the theater, in the backstage, often there is great and strong color. Same in the sequence of the nightclub.
In the pool.
Of course, in the house, because in the house there was this swimming pool that Leos wanted green. The green, I don't know, but Leos is saying now, I am in my green period. So we have to follow that. And something where I work, and nobody speaks to me about that, is the green of the trees in the garden of the house. For me, it was really a problem how I will give this feeling of night and of a place with like a little paradise for them. How I light that night. And after I thought, no, I will work with the trees and not with the night. So it's a black night with trees we are lit. And it's a bit, nobody is saying anything like this, but it's very strong decision not to give a backlight, a moon backlight or something like that, you see. There's not that.
Understood.
Of course, there is a backlight. There is a balloon just to give a volume to the picture. But it's like I forgot the night.
For you, Ines, assisting Caroline on this part, the fact that a lot of the movie is in dark environment, or there is this really strong direction in the color, how did it impact it, the way you work together? Because I know you've been together for a long time now. Any specificity here on this shooting?
Sure. So I think what was essential was to see and to find out how the Sony VENICE was reacting to the blacks, and especially with the dual ISO. We made a lot of tests indoors, outdoors, and also a lot of tests with in-frame lamps, like Asteras and everything, to see how we should expose the color in the darkness and otherwise just in the frame in a more lit space. So we decided that we found out that the 215 base was really the best.
For a dark ambience.
Of course.
Yes, for a dark ambience. And yes, outdoor will be the 500 base, like in the daylight. Then what was really challenging and also exciting is how to keep on a 4 months shooting the blacks safe and on the same level, and especially in very, very different locations, because there's like a lot of intimate scenes, very intimate, and at the same time very exposed scenes, since he's like on stage and it's supposed to be more bright. So how do you keep the balance in between those two spaces? We used the Astro waveform monitor.
Who is always on the set with us.
Okay.
Always on the set, always nearby the camera, and always checking where is the skin exposed, where are the black exposed, and also when we're changing shots. So this is how we kept the continuity during all the movie.
Yes, and I have my cell, so I take my mesure, many mesure. My Ines mesure with our spot meters and the Astro. It's not like in the old school, just one guy saying 4 or 5, or you see.
Yeah.
It's all the crew with conscious with the exposed.
I would even extend that, because talking with the post-production manager, he was really feeding back that the material coming in for the dailies and was very precise, that there was nothing to really get back or really transform. The final element is so close to what you have worked on set And I understand now with the precision that you have been put together, and it was really remarked by the post-production managers compared to other projects they had, that there was a particular strong work of preparation and precision during the shooting.
It was a lot of prep and necessary.
For everybody, we were always together, and it was prep for everybody, not only the camera crew. Yes, of course, the lighting, the grip came a bit after us. But it was a very long prep with Florian Sanson, who was a set designer, and with Pascaline Chavannes, who was a costume designer, and with Leos, of course. But what you don't say is this film is so challenging seconds, one after the other. It's not one challenging sequence in all the movie. It's each one is, oh, I would be better if this one is back in my back. And then the next is the same.
Okay, so I think it's the right moment to talk about an important part of the cinematography, which is the treatment of the movement in the movie. It's very strong. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is the stand-up sequence. There is a lot of dynamism in the shooting. Maybe it goes also with the musical aspect of it, but it's really strong, and you can really feel that was a sport, that was a challenge. So can you tell us about this work on the movement, and how did you work the camera also around this?
Yes, it's really a sport. It was really a sport. I don't think a movie in globality. All the time, I think a movie by sequence. And each sequence had its tool to move. Also, there is a money question. And for that, it would be easy, but it would be lazy too, to have a steady camera all the time. And Leos would have liked to have a steady camera all the times. But for me, it was very interesting to say, no, Leos, we cannot offer that. So let's try to work sometimes like we did in the old times. So with a dolly, on track, on floor, dance floor, and we make some beautiful shot like that. And I think it's the thing it's a more specificity I can give to Leos, because I work for a long time now with directors who like Godard or Doyon, who were very smart and clever with the move of the camera on dollies. And so it was my way to give something more classic to the movie. And I think it's important for some sequence to be more cool, you see. And the movement can stop and go again. Because with a Steadicam, you cannot stop. It's always in move, and then when you stop, it's like floating, you see.
Understood.
So it was very important not to say we are making a modern movie, all will be with the Ronin on the shoulder. No. For me, the classic moves are still very, very important to achieve. Yeah. And I think I can say this particular sequence of Anne singing in a room was really difficult to do. So you were hurt at this time. But it's really a sequence like we did, I think, 20 years ago with dollies. It's very important to have a brilliant focus puller with me, and she's not only that with me. We use a lot 3 zoom, 2 Optimos and an old zoom with 25 250, and often I ask, and all the shows of Henry, and at the end, in the Super Bowl, it was these lenses who gave us the possibility to be out and to go in the scene, and of course in the Tempest. So she can speak now at all this difficulty, because all this was improvised. This so much prepared movie, in a certain way, on the set, with the actor, was improvised. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I do agree. And it was quite challenging sometimes, but also I think it was really nice for me to work with such high professional actors that are also like constructing shots after shots, their choreography, but also are very precise all the time. It made the focus easier, of course. But yeah, otherwise you have, I mean, this is what this set requested for everybody on it. It was like to be very all the time concentrated and very, very, yeah, high at your job.
Okay.
But this particular shot of Henry at the end, that we make alone, because Leos was on the same set but another camera, we were at the end of the zoom.
It was with the traveling also.
With the traveling also. And he was always in the same place, Adam?
Always.
How was it? It's a bit far away from the traditional cinematography question, but to work with this level of actors.
It gave us a stronger concentration. We have to be really, really concentrate all the time they are on the set. But of course we were all the time really concentrated. But there is a tension. It's not an actor, you are joking with him and you are even speaking with him. You feel there is something really, it's like yes, boxing guy.
The result on the skin is particularly, frankly, impacting. How did you achieve that?
But he has a beautiful skin.
First, of course.
Very, very, yes, light. And then what I think it's in post-production, we make something. And we had, all the time we had filter.
Yeah.
So you can speak about the filter.
So we use constantly Hollywood black magic filters. And sometimes, and this is what we figured out during all the essays in prep, is how to match their daughter's skins with their skins. So we find out that sometimes we added like glimmer glass or soft FX to get all these very neat skin.
Yeah, it was a great difficulty, but perhaps we will speak that after, about the puppet, to make the puppet alive. Yeah. And this was a real work in progress with tests to find the good color and the good texture of our skin. I think you don't say there is something who is not alive and there is somebody who is not alive.
I would even say that this is the part that is good because it's disturbing, but in the right way, in the way I think where the director want to bring us, because the puppet itself that we can feel that is, artificial, is sometimes so lively.
The challenge for us was, yes, but we had two puppeteers who are genius.
Yeah.
Estelle Charlier and Romuald Collinet. Estelle was in charge with the faces.
Impressive.
And each body, we have 5 bodies. And we have, each time we have 2 or 3 faces for each body. So it's many configurations. And then there is Romuald, who is in charge with the move, and all this little move, you see, all this little vibration, who make the puppet live too.
Yeah.
But the question of the skin is really essential. And this, for that, Leos trusts us and trusts me, because I was really involved in that.
Also an element that is interesting, so you selected the Venice camera. We understand the full frame aspect of it, the work on the color and on the blacks. What about the ergonomy itself? I understand you've been extracting the front size of the camera to have the Rialto mode. In which occasion did you use that?
It was very important for us. For example, in the shows of Henry's shows, I had the main camera with Ines on a track all the time with the zoom to go with him. And then there was Joe Vermerk, who was our Steadicammer and framer, who was with the Rialto at the first row of the theater and taking close shot of him. So for that, he was in the public. If I see well, I can see him in the shots. But it's well done, and he was with the Rialto. And then the Rialto, we use it, there is some pictures about that in the room of the child, because I was very under the bed of the child.
The house itself looks quite tiny in order to really put the shots together.
But the chamber of the child and the parents' room are in studio, because it was a tiny house. And then we use it in the boat sometimes with Anne, but not so many times.
Not so many times.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
But it was very important to know it was possible.
Yeah. So you're talking about the boat. So this storm sequence, which is really pivotal into the movie, looks really stunning. I think was a particular challenge. No, this one, at least when you see it as a spectator, you are really impressed. What was the challenge behind this, Ines?
It was a challenge for everybody.
Yeah.
I guess the challenge was to, I guess, make it real, but also that stays in this aspect of Leo's movie, which is art and craft. So there is something that you can't hold, but you can feel and perceive that it's kind of uncanny. Actually,
you can feel it. Yeah.
You can feel it, and we did a lot of tests with video projector and video projection on different tissue, black, white, gray tissues.
Yes, but we don't use the tissue we would like to use, because we would like use blacks, because it was beautiful to project on blacks, and the guy of the projection, it was too risky for them. No, I must say this sequence is my sequence. One reason, a technical reason, is I test that in Holy Motors. In the limo in Holy Motors, there was also projection. When we had decided to go in studio for 6 seconds, I thought the more beautiful would be to work again with projection. But the question was the sky, because in a tempest situation, the sky is here, with storm, with so on. And after I thought, because I made a bit of surf, I thought about these waves who are not flat, not horizontal, but absolutely vertical when you make surf. And I find some waves like that to convince Leos the sea can be on the whole screen behind the boat. So we made tests for that with puppet, with little puppet, and with some texture backside, and we thought it was possible to work with the boat in the foreground and a big screen in the background, but really big because it was 30 meters and a bit curved on 13 meters with projections of waves. And these special waves was absolutely vertical. And you say in surf, you say to be in the tube. Mm-hmm. You say it was like that. And then it works. Mm-hmm. So after, what we can say, Leos wanted us to be on the boat, to be more with the actor. And I thought it was not a good idea. It was better to be outside and to be in the director look. So we had a road of like the boat
on the same boat,
and with the dolly and a dance floor on it, and with the dolly and with this zoom, we were like this, like exactly like dancing with them, and it was absolutely improvised again. So it was absolutely conceived, but during the shooting, it was absolutely improvised. And for Ines, I thought, what was stop at this time? We are. It's not 350.
I think it was maybe 350. But
I think it's 350.
Yeah,
At the end of the Zoom, you are at 350.
Okay.
So it was really, really difficult to do.
Okay.
For her, for me, of course, because of the framing. When I go in, when I go out of the boat, for the dolly, for Temujin, the dolly grip. And I think this mix of something really, really conceived, but during the shot, absolutely alive, it gives that to the sequence. Alive because the actors are alive, and they give something very strong.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like everybody is on the edge, constantly, and so the crew somehow is like the comedian in front of the camera. There's like something you need to be precise all together, and you don't know if it's gonna work.
Yes, but it was difficult at each take.
Yeah.
Because you see, they were moving, and we were dancing with them. And the zoom was always different too, because the rhythm was different.
Yeah, and even the movement of the boat, because sometimes they were completely disappearing and then appearing, and you wouldn't know where they were. So, and we were receiving a lot of water. It was like chaotic for us too.
Wow, that's great. Wow, we can feel the tension anyway.
But you
on,
see,
on this work.
It's an old way to work. It's not so new tools. It's old tools. It's down floor, it's dolly, it's zoom.
Okay, super. We're arriving at the end of our discussion, but could you pick up one really great moment of? I'm sure there is many, but pick up one of the shooting of this movie that really you keep in your heart.
I guess it would be the first day. The first day it was an enormous day, like huge day. There were Adam, the kid, a lot of extras. We were in a theater. There were like live music. We were backstage, upstage.
It was a party.
In the public. It was enormous.
Four
cameras. First
so
day.
the two Venice and the two Alpha.
Okay.
So without training, because we had a crew, a very clever crew, but not a crew, Hollywood crew, not a union crew. It was Ines, me, another focus puller, and then trainees. And this first day was the first performance of Annette. When she's appearing in the black, white, little like that in the black. And I think that the fragility of the puppet is going with the fragility of all the set and all the crew, and there is something really moving, and I can understand why Ines say it's a more beautiful day. I would say that for me it was before. For me it was in test, before the movie, when for the first time we understood that this puppet could be alive. And there was a special time with the puppeteers where she's singing, and then they had this idea, this beautiful idea, to make her flying
above the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And when they saw that, we thought, yes, okay, we are doing a thing like that. But I was in love with this puppet, and after the movie, I understood I was in love with Adam.
You might not be the only one on the case.
It was very strange.
Yeah. Well,
it was in the jail.
Actor.
It was the last day in Europe in the jail. Is really beautiful. And then I thought, yes, it's the last day. And he came to me and he said, Caroline, I hope you will not embarrass me, but it's the last day.
Well, thank you very much for today. anything coming up? Of course, now you're really deep into the launch of the movie, I understand. Anything you can share with us about what's coming next for you, Ines and Caroline, in the coming months? Any projects you want to share?
Actually, we're working together on a documentary directed by Benoît Jacot.
Ah, superb.
We're following Isabelle Huppert, that is actually on stage in Avignon.
In Avignon, of course.
Playing the cherry La Cerisée, the Chekhov. And we're following her and shooting with 2 Alpha 7S3. And we're following her through her day, from her home to after the stage,
show.
The show.
Great.
And we see her, hour from hour, to become more a star. It's like at the beginning of the day, you don't know really with who you are, and at the end of the day, you are with a big star.
She's blooming. Okay.
And we work like she frame, I frame.
Okay.
It's like 2 crew, and we enjoy that.
Nice project. Can't
Yeah.
wait to see the result. Okay, fantastic. And anything after you're going to take a break, maybe at some stage?
No, perhaps
No
we are going to work together in Morocco. If Ines accepts again to come with me, but now she wants to fly by herself.
Like baby Annette.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for today. Long live to this great movie. I hope everyone can watch it and enjoy.
On screen.
And thank you for coming today. We're happy to be with you in Cannes and hope to see you again next year.
With great pleasure.
C'est quand même un film, on peut en parler pendant...
Ah oui, bah en fait, je suis
C'est un
arrivé.
tel challenge de fabrication que franchement, là on a parlé de quelques séquences, mais la plage par exemple, tout ça, quand vous le verrez, mais c'est pour ça on en fera une autre à la limite.
Bah oui,
verra.
maintenant, l'habitude, on n'a même pas besoin de répéter.
Et puis on viendra avec notre propre
FX6.
FX6. Hein.
On va s'occuper de ça.